Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Foretales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie to level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions respectfully brings to you the 154th episode of the Foretales podcast. I don't know if that's the 154 because last week when we did the D&D thing, that was 154, but I didn't actually release that as a podcast, so I don't know.
Oh, man. 154 and a half then.
All right, 154 and a half. I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the heliotrope hack of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. Together, we are your two award-winning Blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We're live on the Age of Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitch. It's Twitch, YouTube, and Danny's TikTok, because apparently Restream does not want to work with TikTok anymore.
Right.
So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast, because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Danny J. Quick, why were you late?
Just hung over for my birthday, man. That's all. I was just
I'm sorry, what?
Dragging. I mixed the wrong two colors and just late. No, I was actually doing something less responsible. I was playing video games. I was up there playing Fortnite with Morgan, and I lost track of time. And I was like, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be on a podcast right now.
Okay, I see how it is. A brother can go play Fortnite with somebody, but won't hop on Marvel Rivals with me and Brian J. Lambert.
I tried Rivals. It is just not my type of game. My dogs are invading my office right now.
Okay.
How you been doing, though, brother? You been doing all right?
I got my good moments and my bad moments, Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm all right. Been catching up on work that I've been neglecting for the past couple weeks. Finished. I don't know if you saw. I finished all the artwork for I Drive for Server 3.
I did not see that. That's dope.
Yeah. So I'm out of a job right now. I got nobody to do work for. There's a possibility. What?
I'm sure it won't take long for you to get another gig.
You laugh, but there's somebody actually did reach out to me yesterday, say, hey, what's your rates? I told my rates. They're like, all right, we're trying to revamp this book that I've actually read the first couple of issues they did and loved the series.
Oh.
And this would be an alien-centered Men in Black type series. We'll see what happens. I haven't heard back from them since, but we'll see what happens.
There are no horses in it, though.
There are no horses. And if they add a horse to their script for just because of this episode, I'm going to hurt you. Just letting you.
I'm putting it in your contract. Every book you do has to have at least one horse in it.
I hate horses, damn it. I hate drawing horses so much. I never knew growing up I'd have to draw horses and cars so much.
Cars? You don't like drawing cars?
I don't like drawing cars.
Oh, wow.
No. There's weird angles on cars, and it's not necessarily the car itself, but trying to make the car scene dramatic over a 30-page comic. It gets very monotonous, and you're like, alrighty, how many scenes can I do where the guy's like this, just holding the steering wheel? Like, I can't, there's only so many times I can do that and be like, all right, this is boring.
Right.
Who's calling?
I understand that. Some random number. They're not getting my attention right now, though. I can tell you that.
Okay. All right. Well, who is getting your attention right now?
Just you and our special guest. They say he's your favorite author. They say he's your favorite author and my favorite author. The homie from. Are you still in Raleigh?
I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, see, you done stepped up.
I was in Raleigh. Right before I got married, and
Okay.
then the wife essentially we said, whoever found a job first, that's where we're gonna end up moving. So I found one in Charlotte, and I ended up moving to Charlotte.
Hey, the only way to move up from Charlotte is to move out. to move to another state, man.
Right.
Charlotte's a beautiful city, man. In Porterfield, man. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
What
having me.
Kyra?
What? I was just waiting for you to actually say his name. It took like that introduction was so long. I was like, he having a whole conversation before he can say the man's name.
Leave me alone. In Porterfield, man. Thanks for coming to the show. For
Appreciate
anybody who might not know you and your work, give us a quick intro to you and the things that you make.
Yeah, so I started with writing novels. Well, I mean, before that, I wrote music, but that's a whole different thing. So I came into it writing novels, and then comics was always a love of mine. Comics, manga, anime, all of that. I always loved it, and I was like, I need to create the things that I want to see in the world. And so, about a year after I penned my first novel, then I started working on my first manga, and then just since then, I've been doing a mixture of comics, some screenplays that I'm working on, still kicking out some novels here and there, but just kind of wherever my creative spirit takes me, that's what I make.
Now, you said you loved comics and mangas. Did you have one preference over the other growing up, or?
So growing up, it was comics.
Okay.
I grew up. My anime and manga experience was very limited when I was young. It was mostly just the stuff that came on Toonami, like everybody else. That was our exposure to it. And then a friend, once I came out of college, he started giving me like some DVDs. He was like, "No, you got to learn some like real anime and real manga." And I was like, "Okay." So he would give me DVDs, and I would watch them. I'm like, "Yo, this is like some really good stuff." And so after that, I started exploring on my own and kind of finding things that I liked and seeing how much a lot of those stories influence some Western stuff, and Western stuff influences them, and vice versa. And so, but yeah, I bounced around a lot. But I started with comics, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, Batman. Those were my early start. Actually, my first comic, my very first comic was Archie.
Oh, okay.
That was
a lot of people's intro to comics is Archie comics.
Yeah, that was my very first comic. And
Danny, do you remember your first comic, Danny?
I do not. I know the first comic I bought was World War Hulk, but I don't remember the first comic book I ever read. No.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, Archie's where I got started, and then from there I went into the things that like Spider-Man, Batman, Ghost Rider was always. I just thought Ghost Rider just looked cool. I didn't really continue my Ghost Rider fandom into adulthood, but Spider-Man and Batman are still deep favorites of mine.
Yeah. Are you excited about the new any of the movies that are coming out these days, or are you strictly comics and manga?
So I have when I watch movies with these comic movies, I try to go into everything with kind of like a blank slate. Like I'm going to accept the movie for what it is and not set expectations for myself. So like, I remember telling people, and I know this is very controversial still, but I remember telling people like, I felt like Ben Affleck was going to give us one of the better Batman performances that we were going to get. And so, when I saw Batman v Superman, even though it was filled with like flaws and stuff like that, hated Lex Luthor, hated the way they did the story, but there was a lot in that I was like, there's a lot that you could take from this that's still good. I wouldn't say the movie necessarily is good, but there were things in it that I really liked, and one of the things I really liked was his performance as Batman. For the stuff coming up, I don't know what's happening with Blade. I'm hearing that might be done with. I don't know.
That's done.
It's done. Okay.
I don't think we ever getting that.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was a Brand New Day. The new Superman. I'm excited to see it just because I'm curious to see what Gunn is going to do with it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. I don't I don't really know. I mean, Marvel has the early phase stuff that they did, like leading up to Endgame, was so different from anything we had seen in cinema and stuff like that. It's so hard to follow up with that. And I don't know if they can continue that type of story building and world building to have that type of reveal again. But I'm gonna go see it. I'll go see, if it comes out as, I don't think there's too many films that I'm not gonna see. The only ones that I really skipped out on were the offshoot Spider-Man villain. Like I skipped on Morbius, I skipped on Craven.
I still haven't seen Craven.
I did watch the first Venom.
It is on Netflix right now.
So I might go watch those, like, now that they're like on streaming. But those are the only ones that it's just hard for me to envision those characters without Spider-Man. Like it seems so weird to me. But beyond that, I mean, I'll give everything a shot. That's the best I could do, is give everything a shot. And I may be a little more lenient with some of the comic book stuff than other people. I'm not like, oh, it's not true to the source material. Like I can appreciate some creative differences and creative changes done for film, as long as it works. If it works, it works. But
for sure.
I'm open to everything.
Go ahead, Kyle.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, I think I ran into your work, even though we're in the same state. I think the first time I ran into your work was actually online with the Hero City Rejects book that you were doing. I want to say we've met in person maybe once or twice.
I know for sure once.
Yeah.
Could have been twice, but I know for sure once.
Are you gonna be at Heroes this year? You gonna be at Heroes Con this year?
I don't believe I am. Unfortunately, if I am, it'll be just to swing through and support. I was hoping that this year I'll be able to get a table and stuff, but I got some other things in my life that I gotta handle before I do that.
Danny, if you were here on time, you would have gotten the conversation that NM and I had, saying, "Hey, you're gonna be at Heroes Con?"
Tell the way that you shook your head that you had already asked him that question. I could already tell.
And the only reason I brought it up is because he said he was in Charlotte, and I was like, "Oh, Danny's in there, and I'm gonna be at Heroes Con this year.
Yeah.
We could all meet up and hang out."
Yeah.
We could still probably make that work. Just you guys just let me know, and if, like I said, I'll make some time. I can swing through probably for a little bit. I just probably won't be able to be at the tables or anything like that this year.
Oh no, definitely understandable. So what's your most recent project? Are you still putting out Hero City Rejects?
Yeah, so Hero City Rejects was that was my most recent project as far as getting it illustrated and everything like that. So it was successfully funded through Kickstarter. I actually got me a copy right here. So
you sent us some pictures. Let me just put that up here, and you can tell us about it and what we're looking at here.
Absolutely. So on the left-hand side, that's Hero City Rejects. On the right-hand side, that's Golem Genesis. That's my other project my other comic project that I'm working on. It's actually manga style, art style. And that one I actually started back in 2017. Been slowly working on that since then, just chipping away at it piece by piece. And I have not done a good job of talking about it or promoting it. And that's on me because I am not as big on social media as I need to be. That's like the hardest thing. Like writing it, I can write it, I can get it illustrated, and then telling me to tell other people about it is like, that's where I get stuck every time.
It's weird, man. Like, we talk to so many creators, and it's really because I think the creative part comes natural to us. We know what we want to make. We know, the decisions to make to get the thing in our brain out, but to then turn around and take that thing and market it or sell it to people is not something that naturally comes to a lot of us. So I think that part really, you know, a lot of creatives really struggle with that part, and it really takes a team of people, unless you're willing to kind of add those new wrinkles to your brain and learn, you know, go into learning how to market and be willing to get online and make some mistakes, man. It's really just doesn't come natural to us, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. So don't feel bad about that, man. It's all of us. It's all of us for sure.
And let's be honest about this. A lot of us as comic readers and anime and manga readers, we're sort of reserved in the way we act, the way we interact with people, and the idea of putting ourselves out there. Because even though it's our comic book, this is still part of us.
Yeah.
And the idea of having somebody possibly reject it, not like it, it can be very deterring for people to say, "Hey, let me market this book. Let me do a 2 or 3 minute video about my book." Unlike people unlike Danny, who are just like, "I'm just going to hop online and just start telling people about it." Some of us are like, I gotta plan this out for 2 months in advance before I can post this.
Look, so I got to give credit where it's due. I actually, when I was doing the promotion for my Kickstarter, a lot of my inspiration came from watching Danny's videos, because I was like, man, he's just consistent and talking about it. I was like, man, I gotta get out here. I gotta say something. So I had a run on TikTok where I was. I mean, it wasn't like an everyday thing, but it was like, you know, like a couple times a week I was posting, and I started to see more engagement. I will say that TikTok seemed, at least pre all the stuff that happened when it got taken down and brought back, before, it seemed to be the network that worked best for me as far as building an audience.
Yeah.
Because like when I was doing it through Facebook and Instagram, I was like, man, I'm not getting like any engagement or people even seeing me. Am I talking to myself? And then on TikTok, I was like, okay, people are asking me questions. People are, you know, they're seeming interested. They're, hey, where can I get this? What, you know, so definitely. And that makes it easy. That made it easier for me to continue to do it, because I was getting engagement. Like when you post a video and like you get like 1 heart and no likes and no comments, you're like, okay, should I do another one? Or well, you just gotta keep doing it. And I think that's the hard part for me. But I'm about to get back out there again. So
can I give you a tip on this that I recently learned? If you go on TikTok's website on your computer, you can pre-schedule all of your posts, so you don't have to worry about posting every day. You can just like film a couple, pre-schedule it for the week, and then you're done. That's what I do with all our social media at this point. I'm like, I don't want to sit there every day and think of something. I'm just going to think of 2 or 3 ideas right now, schedule it out for the week, and I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try that.
I think you just got to find what works for you, man. Like Kyron is very, like, he's got an analytical mind. He's great with he's a dope creative also, but still, you know, he went to school for I ain't gonna tell him that you're an accountant, because you keep telling me that you're not an accountant, but you went to school for that type of thing. So, you know, your brain kind of works differently than most people. So, you know, setting up to do, you know, that kind of stuff, I could never do it. I could never sit in one place for a few hours and just schedule out posts for the week. I could never do that. But if I get an idea, I don't mind. I can just pull out the phone and just make it right there and then put it out in the world, you know? So, you know, you just got to find what works for you, for sure.
What happens with me is I get an idea and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this later when I get home.
Yeah.
And then the kids need something, and then the wife needs something, and then before you know it, what was that idea that I had? Oh man, it was gonna be good too. I know it was gonna be good.
It was gonna be good, man. I've had that happen a few times.
So what ideas are you coming up with next that people should be maybe looking out for?
So I got a few things that I'm working on. One, there's a sequel to it's actually the final book in a trilogy that people have been bugging me about for years, that I probably should have been put out by now. But the thing about trilogies is if you're gonna, you have to end it right. And because people were so invested in the story, and the book series is called Thrill of the Hunt. It's very John Wick-esque, if you like things like that. But finding the proper ending for my characters and for this story has been so hard. I've written out storylines and then trashed it because that's not good enough. Written out other things and then like that's not good enough. And so right now I'm about halfway through the first draft for the final book with that. I'm hoping that that'll be ready sometime into this year.
All right, well, let me read this real quick because this sounds interesting. Marcus Hunt came home from school to find his mother lying dead on the floor of their apartment and men in suits standing over her corpse with weapons. But instead of pointing him to the killer, they offer instead to train him to become one himself. Offering him a chance to personally exact revenge on the one who took his mother's life, the Order takes in young Marcus and trains him to be one of the world's greatest assassins. But secret organizations are sometimes undone by the very secrets they keep. As Marcus learns of one of the secrets, he becomes a threat to the very organization that trained him. Now, Marcus must employ all the skills that the Order gave him in order to survive. Thrill of the Hunt, available on Amazon right now. Go get it.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, that's like see, I love like stories in that vein, kind of like Jack Ryan. You know, there's a shadow government operation or something like that, like a secret society, like right in plain sight and stuff like that. So that's dope, man. I think what my question is how do you go from writing, you know, novels to comics and short stories? Like I have trouble. Like I have to finish writing the one thing before I can try to write something else. I wrote one novel and I wrote a couple short stories, and once I started writing comic books, I never went back to writing to writing novels and short stories. It's just a different like muscle, I guess. So do you know ever have trouble with that, or is it just a natural thing for you to do?
So for me, and it's funny because this is actually how I found out I was on the spectrum.
Mm, there you
So
go.
whenever I was writing before, people would be like, oh, you always have like new ideas, and I was like, they're like, you don't ever get writer's block or anything like that. I was like, whenever I would get stuck on something I was writing, I would essentially just come up with something brand new and start writing on that to kind of keep the creative juices flowing. So it's like if I'm working on Thrill of the Hunt and then it's like, okay, I don't know what to write for this next part that I'm in. All of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of thinking. And then it's like, oh, I got this cool idea about some superheroes. Let me start writing on this. And before you know it, I have a notebook full of like 50 different book and comic book ideas. And then I just have to kind of, once I start to put like outlines and put a little more concrete details to things, then I decide, okay, would this be better suited in a visual format or would this be better suited as a novel? But yeah, I've always kind of creatively just bounced around as to whatever the spirit takes me to, whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And it feels easier for me to do it that way than to sit, because if I sit in one place and just write on one thing, I'll probably end up getting stuck to the point where it's like I'm not gonna be able to finish this. So a lot of my writing has been like 3-4 chapters here, and then okay, now I'm gonna write on the first arc of this comic book series. Okay, oh, let me kick out a poem real quick. Oh, and so I bounce around a lot like that a lot. But that's kind of how things keep flowing for me. Like I'd rather keep things flowing than get a point where I'm stuck and just be stuck. So that's how I've always written.
I like that. I was gonna go ahead.
No, I love it. I have that's the one thing that I will say. I think because I get inspiration in so many things, I think that's one thing I can relate to. Now I'm not gonna work, on 5 projects at a time, but I will, if I get an idea for something, if I ever have writer's block, I can get an idea for something else and complete that and then get back to the other projects. Like I said, the thing with the TikToks is that's exactly what it is. Like I might not be able to sit down and write right now, but I can get an idea for a TikTok. I can make that, put it out, and then get back to what I was working on. So it kind of frees up. So that's pretty cool.
All right, we got Javon Stokes in the chat. What's up, Javon? Daryl Murphy, Brad Arney, and Chris Steffens also in the chat.
Thank y'all for jumping in.
I was wondering why we weren't getting as many notifications and as many messages in the chat, and I looked up and you didn't pair your channels, Danny. That's
It
why.
wouldn't let me. That's what I was trying to get in here and pair them, and it wouldn't let me. But I shared it to everybody. So
this is gonna flop, and M's never gonna come back on our show because of you and your inability to figure this out after 154 episodes.
it would not let. I was literally pairing my channels, and it would not activate them. So it was either reset and wait 5 more minutes, be 5 more minutes late, or get on the show. So we'll just make sure that we push this one out when it goes to the podcast. Definitely. We're not gonna let it flop.
NM, you've been doing this for a few years. You've been writer for novels, comic books, things like that. At this point, having so much experience, what are the biggest things that you learned that maybe you didn't know when you first started this that's helped you out over years?
It's important to make sure that you go through all the steps. The first book I ever put out, I edited it myself. That was a mistake. Thankfully, the people that purchased the book, didn't like tear my head off. They, was like, hey, just so you know, you missed this or you missed that, or, little small things here and there. But I was like, okay, now I need to invest in an editor. Then after investing in an editor, it was like, okay, well, there was parts of your story that kind of threw me off. I was like, okay, let me look in again some beta readers. And so once you find the whole process, making sure that you go through all the steps to get a product that you can be proud of, like it can be so easy to get excited and be like, I want to get it out there, because you're excited that you created something. Anytime you've created something, you want to share it with people. And that was my issue early on, was that I was so excited that I made something that I wanted to get it out to people as quick as possible. But like, it's okay to take your time to make sure you do it right. Make sure you go through all the steps before, putting it out in the world.
Okay. We got a question from
God, Danny. Happy belated. I don't know if I wish you happy birthday.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm the big 40 years old, man. Thank y'all.
I'm almost there.
We got a question from Daryl Murphy. Says, do you guys watch movies or shows when you feel writer's block creeping in?
I watch movies and shows regardless. If whatever, it always helps. Either it help me relax or it help to inspire me to get back into it. So always, man, always trying to find a way to stay inspired. But yeah, I'll watch some anime real quick. I'll watch Naruto or I'll watch some sci-fi. Maybe I'll watch Star Trek. There's one thing that I found, like, I'll rewatch shows because I know that like certain things inspired me while I was watching them. There's a show called The Rifleman. It's an old Western show, and it's a show that
the one from like the 50s.
Yes, The Rifleman, and there's a whole entire book series that I want to do with Ace Blade, because of an episode of The Rifleman that I saw. So I rewatch shows. Like, I've had it happen with Star Trek DS9. I've had it happen with Naruto. I've had it happen with The Rifleman. So I rewatch shows all the time. And Matlock. Matlock is another one. The old Matlock, not the new one. But yeah, I do that all the time for sure.
I have some. So there's some things that I watch when I'm writing just to have background noise, because I'm not somebody who can write in complete silence. Like, I need some type of background noise. But those are usually shows that are like, like things, a bunch of nonsense, like Family Guy or something like that. Like, I'm not trying to pay attention. However, if I am looking for something to kind of get the creative juices going, like we were talking about writer's block specifically, I will try to watch something that is, because most of what I write is like sci-fi. I write like sci-fi, paranormal, and then like superhero type things. I'll watch something in that range. So like I just finished Invincible and Solo Leveling recently. Those things. Even though they're not original concepts, they have their own unique takes on the genre, and so you got you can take things from it, or you can see things like I saw how Kirkman wrote that. I thought that was interesting, but I wouldn't go that route. So it really just depends on kind of what writing space I'm in. If I'm in the I'm about to bang out these next few chapters, I might put on some background noise. But if it's something like I don't know where to go next, let me just throw something on to kind of give me some ideas. Yeah, I'll definitely do that too.
Okay.
Yes, Daryl Murphy, SG1. Yes, I just recently rewatched the first season of that too. So I love sci-fi, man. I love sci-fi stories. Well, I love a lot of sci-fi stories. Some of them are just terrible, but I haven't been able to get into Battlestar Galactica. I heard people say that's great. I just can't get into it.
The 70s or the most recent one?
Either one.
Okay.
Either one. I just can't get into it.
There's a show it's on Netflix now, and I'm always telling people that they need to check it out because I think there's a lot of cool concepts in it. It's called Pantheon.
Pantheon.
It's animated. It deals with a lot of cool concepts. I don't want to spoil anything, but just things like AI and things like that. But it's called Pantheon. There's 2 seasons. It's on Netflix right now, so I'm always telling people to check it out. A lot of people have not seen it because it was on AMC originally, and I don't think anybody had like an AMC account. So it was like it's hard to watch something when nobody has that streaming service. But they picked it up on Netflix, and it's definitely worth a watch. I thought it was really cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. It's got pretty cool style there. I want to change my quick take now, but I ain't gonna do it.
Okay, well, no, go ahead. Chris Steffens says, "How do you know when you are on a roll and everything's just flowing how it should?" So while you're changing your quick takes, NM can maybe answer that for us.
For me, it's just the ideas are just going. Like, I mean, my keyboard is just going, and that's how it's almost like a flow state. Like I'm just, there's not a whole bunch of stopping and then thinking. Is literally I'm just as it's coming to me, it's just coming out onto the page, and I'm just putting it out there. So, and when I get in that type of zone, those are usually the nights where I'm up until like 3 a.m. because it's like I gotta get all this out because it's coming to me now. I need to go ahead and get it out, and which I love being in that type of zone, creatively, because I feel like it's like a release. It's like a release. And it's just a great feeling to be able to, as the ideas are coming to you, everything is tied together, everything is fitting the way it needs to fit to, and it's just flowing. So that's like the ideal situation. I love when the ideas come to me like that, and when it does hit me like that, that's when I gotta, I tell the wife like, hey, I'm about to go do my thing. I need to write. You got the kids for a little bit. I'm about to, I gotta handle some business. So I have an excellent note keeping app on my phone, which if I can't, sit down and type it at my desk, then, I'll just be on my phone, just, typing away, getting as much of it down as I can.
Okay. Yeah, I like it, man. For me, man, I think it's time moves faster for me. Like time moves slower for me, but like I'll look up and realize that, it's been 4 hours, when it's felt like, I've just been writing for an hour. And I look up and I'm like, oh, it's midnight. I might need to get off my thing.
And you guys want to answer that? Whoever that was?
It was me. But I'm the same way. I can easily lose track of time when I'm writing like that. And I already have issues with insomnia, so like it's nothing for me to be up at 3 a.m. I mean, if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen me posting at 3-4 a.m. on a regular basis. So it's nothing for me to be up writing at that time, just because it makes it easier too, because the world gets a little quieter. It's like no kids pulling at me, no chores that need to be done. Like now is the time where like I can sit and be to myself and to my thoughts and start getting things out. So definitely no stranger to being up late, kicking some stuff out. But when you're in the zone, like you were saying, like that time passes by fast. So
I like it. Did we just lose Danny? I think we did.
I think so.
I think he quit on us, honestly. I think he was tired of this. Which is amazing because in like a week is the 4-year anniversary of us starting the show. So,
I almost shut it down. I thought about shutting it down just then. Just then. It's like, man, 4 years is enough. That's enough. No, my bad. My neighbor needed me for something. I'm ready for quick takes, man. NM, I know you've seen the show before. So let's get it done. Kyron, I'm ready whenever you are. So, for anyone who hasn't seen, every time.
I'm sorry. There's no way for me to properly translate.
Anybody, I'd have just stop, just wait until the sound goes because I know it's coming. All right, for anybody who hasn't seen the show before, Quick Takes is a rapid Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. We're gonna give you 5 questions, and you got 45 seconds each to answer each one. And these questions are just to let our audience get to know you a little bit better. So, question number 1. Okay. I know because we live in the same state. I know what your rank should be, but I'm gonna test you right now. I want you to rank these 3 rappers: Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole.
All right. So for me, and it's not because I'm from Carolina, but Cole is gonna be number 1.
Okay.
Kendrick is gonna be number 2, and Drake is gonna be number 3. And this was before all the Not Like Us stuff. Mm-hmm. I am not a Drake fan. I don't think he makes music for me though. So that's what that's about. I think he raps to the ladies, and that's cool. That's his thing. But I think Cole is like the best of both worlds. I'm a huge fan of his mixtape stuff before he even got on Friday Night Lights and all that. So yes, it's Cole, Kendrick, and then Drake. But if anybody wanted to switch Kendrick and Cole, I wouldn't be mad at it.
No, you did it right. That was the right answer. Your answer is the right answer. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Why is that a regional thing though? Just because he's in North Carolina, why is that the right answer?
I mean, like you said, Cole. For me, it's just Cole's music resonates with me better. He has a better balance. He just has a better balance of pop, intellectual stuff, and just straight bars. He's just got the balance. Kendrick is an amazing artist, but it's not something that I want to listen to a lot. But Drake just makes stuff for pop culture, and everything after what was that album? Sooner Than Later, the one with Houston Land in Vegas.
The only thing I liked from Drake was If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. That's the only project I liked from him was If You're Reading This, It's Too Late.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 2.
All right.
I seen you're a family man. I seen you said you got three daughters. Is that right?
I got 3 sons and 1 daughter.
3 sons and 1 daughter. Okay. Yeah. I want you to describe your dream vacation with your family, though. So not you going off by yourself. Not you going off by yourself. I want you to describe your dream family vacation. All expenses paid. Like you can do anything you want. You got the budget to do anything you want. What would you do? What would you do with your family?
All right. So funny thing, we just went on a family cruise and it did not go well because my youngest children were bouncing off the walls. But if I had to do a dream vacation, it would probably be to Japan. my wife and I, we actually went to Japan for our honeymoon, and we had a great time. I think the kids would really love it. We went to Tokyo Disney, and so that would be the way that I would get the younger kids more involved. But my oldest son, who is about to be 16, he's followed right in his father's footsteps. He's big into anime and gaming and all that. So that's where he wants to go. We're actually thinking about doing that for a graduation present for him. So Japan would be our dream family vacation, but I need my two youngest to be a little bit older, because the way they was acting on that cruise ship, I was like, never again. I was like, never again, boy. Oh
yeah, for sure. We took our kids to Disney World. We're taking a couple of times, but when they were smaller. But we finally did like the family cruise. Now that they're all 10 and up, they were fine on a cruise. But I could not imagine taking the youngsters on a cruise, man.
My youngest is 2, and so he was all over the ship.
Man.
He was running in between people tables in the captain's dinner. He was all over the place, man. It was a lot.
I mean, if you want to take an older person with you, I'll go to Japan. You can leave the kids. I'll hang out too.
Oh man, crazy. Okay. Question number 3. And this is a question that we ask a lot of creators. I want to know, in your opinion, what is the best part of creating and what is the worst part of creating?
The best part of creating for me is probably being able to hold that finished product. Once you've had it in your head, and being able to tangibly hold it in your hands, there's just something about that. Like I wear a lot of my own merch. Like I carry my own books around with me. So like I love to be able to look at my own stuff and be like, I made that, The worst part about it is the cost. A lot of it, and not just the financial element, but there's a time element, there's an energy element. Like it takes a lot to make something and to bring something into fruition. So that's probably the worst part about it.
Yeah, I can get with you on that, man. There's definitely a cost outside of the money to making these things. And it's like we said earlier, it's all about balance. But we got to pay it. We got to pay it. Like you said, got to take your time and say, hey, babe, you got to handle the kids for a little bit. Because I got to get in here and I got to get these creative juices flowing. So I'm down with it. Okay. So how long y'all been married, you and Mr. Maxia?
We will be 10 years in September.
10 years. Okay. Yeah, that's a milestone right there.
Yes.
So I want to know congratulations. You gave us a little bit of it earlier. You gave us a little bit of advice earlier to see how the relationship work. I want you as a creative to give us your best marriage advice in 45 seconds to how to work with a creative.
Oh man. So I mean the best thing, being a good listener is like key. A lot of what my wife does for me is she's my bouncing board of ideas. So it's like, hey, I want to do this. Does this sound stupid? Does this sound crazy? Like, so being a good listener, and, being patient, because, if some of these things are going to take time, she has to be able to see my vision, which she does, and I thank her for being able to not just see it, but buy into it for me, because sometimes I'll doubt myself and I need her to remind me of what I said I wanted to do. So being able to see my vision and being a good listener is the key.
I love it. All right. Now this is the question that I've changed. I wasn't going to have you do, I wasn't going to ask you to do top 5 video games because I know you're into games. But because we were talking about sci-fi earlier, we're going to do a top 5 list off the top of your head in 45 seconds. Okay. I want you to tell me what are, in your opinion, the top 5 sci-fi properties from 5 to 1 5 being your 5, and the number 1 being the best.
My favorite.
It's on you. Yeah,
It's
your
on you.
favorite. Top 5.
All right. Terminator. Star Wars.
Okay.
Wait, Star Wars is number 4?
Oh, I'm going in reverse.
Terminator. Terminator's number 1.
Terminator's number 1. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Star Wars number 2.
Gosh. There's a lot out there.
There's a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones.
Got 10 seconds.
Oh man, I'm just gonna go off the Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Star Trek. I'm stumped on the last one.
Firefly. No. Not Firefly. Definitely not Firefly. No, Firefly was good, but I don't know. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. You got some good ones in there. Terminator, even with like, I actually like the Genesis movie. I ain't gonna lie. That last one that they made, I really liked. But there were a couple of them that were just like, y'all was just trying to make some money.
Yeah.
But the lore and the just the situation of it all, the plot of it is so good. So right. that second movie just changed everything. So
Terminator 2 Judgment Day is easily one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty much a perfect film. I appreciate you doing that for us, man. Quick take this week has been brought to you by Gemini Comic Supply. If you go to Gemini Comic Supply and use the promo code AceBlade, you will get 10% off your entire order. Appreciate you doing that for us, man. Kyron, back to you.
All right, and that was great. We wish we had more time. What?
No. You said you were going to start the silver lining this week. Where is the silver lining?
I didn't say I was going to do that this week.
You said you were starting the silver lining. I was looking forward to this.
I didn't say I would do that this week.
Okay. Next week, are we going to get the silver lining?
Maybe.
Next week?
I'll think about it. I don't know how I can. Why can I not get rid of the timer now? All right. It's part of the show. Did I really say I'll do it this week? Okay.
No,
you
didn't.
Wait a minute.
But I was in my head. You were doing it this week, but you didn't say that.
All right. And we appreciate you being on, and we appreciate the knowledge, and we want to make sure all our listeners and all our viewers go back and check out your work. Where is the best place online, your social media or your website, that people can follow you going forward?
Yeah. So if you just hashtag your favorite author, favorite author is an easy way to find me on a lot of social media networks. You can also go to legyn.com, legion.com. That's going to be my book publishing company where I'll be putting all of my IPs out there. Or you could just go to yourfavoriteauthor.com.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Danny, where can people check you out?
If you want to find me, the best place to go is fourthwallpros.com. We actually got Lumberjacks number 4 and the graphic novel going to be launching on May 6th, I believe. So be looking out for that. And if you want to find me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people
I am the most
you?
uninformed editor-in-chief of a company ever, because I had no idea we were launching in like a month.
I just told you.
Why am I just now finding out we're launching the graphic novel and episode?
I just found out too. So don't feel bad. I just found out. So you just found out. Yeah. You got to talk to Morgan about that.
Morgan at this point. You can check me out at tauruscomics.com. You can find all my work at Taurus Comics on all social media network platforms, whatever. Also, the Ringo Awards are available now. You can send in your nominations at ringoawards.com, I think it is, or ringonomination.com. Feel free to nominate me and the team for Saw the Lightning Wielder issue 4. They all came out in 2024. And also my wife's book, My Hero Among Superheroes, is also available to be nominated. So go nominate all your favorite books. Don't, though, come back next week. Unfortunately, we will not be here next week. As a lot of you guys know, my mother recently passed away, and that weekend is her memorial. So I'm taking the week off. And Danny said he didn't want to do this without me again. So we're skipping a week. But join us.
I would never do this without you again. It's just not going to
Well,
happen.
join us in 2 weeks where we're going to have writer E.A. Brown on the show to talk about his work. But until then, sayonara, goodbye, and everyone, please take care of yourselves.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.